Right. Now we're going to study about the determination of loudness. Determination of loudness is same as that when it is going to be towards the base of the cochlea, loudness will be maximum, frequency will be maximum, resonance will be maximum. But as it is going to move away and away from that of the base of the cochlea towards the apex, its loudness is going to decrease. And this is basically known as a principle called as the place principle or the frequency principle, which allows that of the auditory cortex located in our temporal lobe to help in our hearing of it. Okay, then we have the last topic of this unit, that is the pathway of how the that is basically how it is going to move from that of the cochlea towards that of the cerebral cortex. Simply, if there here the sound is heard from this vestibulocochlear nerve, it is going to go and enter into the medulla. From medulla, it is going to move upward into the pons. Where in the pons? Superior olivary nucleus of the pons. From the superior olivary nucleus of the pons, it is going to go and enter into the lateral lemniscus of the pons. From the pons, it is going to enter into the midbrain. In the midbrain, where? In the inferior collecula. From the inferior colliculus, it is going to go upward into the thalamus in the medial geniculate nucleus, and from there, it is going to go and enter into the primary auditory cortex of that of the temporal lobe of the cerebral cortex, where then the sound will be then stimulated. They will read it, and from here, once they have done, then for us to hear it, they will move by the same path in a downward direction from that of the auditory cortex back into the medial geniculate body, from the medial geniculate body into the inferior colliculus of the midbrain, from the inferior colliculus of the midbrain to the lateral lemniscus of the pons, from the lateral lemniscus of the pons to the superior olivary nucleus of the pons, from the superior olivary nucleus into the medulla, from medulla basically into the cochlear nerve. From the cochlear nerve, reverse process, it will move from the scala vestibula to the media, tympani to the media, from the media to that of the scala vestibula, from there out of the oval window into the stapes, incus, malleus, from there into your tympanic membrane, from the tympanic membrane out to the external ear, and we will be able to hear it. Now, the abnormalities are basically of two types. There is nerve deafness and conductive deafness. When there is a damage to that of the cochlear nerve and the person is unable to hear any sound, that is called as the nerve deafness, and it cannot be treated. When there is some problem with that of the tympanic membrane or that of the external ear, that type of deafness is called as conductive deafness, and it can be treated by surgical means, and a device that is required to record the sound waves, that is called as the audiometry. And the normal range for humans to hear it is about 20,000 to 20,000 hertz. In our this last topic chapter, that is the taste one, it is basically you just only have to know about the sensations of the taste, where they're located. They are basically about 5 tastes: sour taste, salty taste, sweet taste, bitter taste, and then you have the umami. Sour taste is the taste that is basically present on the sides or on the back of the tongue. That is basically the sour taste. So any type of acidity that you feel in, this is basically the sour taste, which is going to do. Salty taste is present on the sides of the tongue. That is the salty taste that is basically responsible. For the sweet taste, all type of sugars, your alcohols, your toffees, ice cream, that is the sweet taste, which is located on the tip of the tongue. Bitter taste also in the back, where you're going to hear the bitter taste, all right? And when there's a combination of all these tastes, you're going to have a taste that is called as the umami taste. That is what just they ask about from this chapter. And it's also nerve pathway is going to be same, that is going to go by these neurons into the brain, and from the brain you will be able to understand. If there's a damage, you won't be able to understand or hear the taste, everything. All right. And that of your smell adaptation, it is by C messenger. Whatever is your smell receptor, they're going to go and bind to this receptor. On binding to the receptor, they're going to cause the activation of this GDP protein to be converted into GTP protein by the release of the alpha hormone. When the alpha is removed, GDP will be converted GTP. GTP will then convert into CMP. CMP will then, what it will do, it will cause the opening of a sodium channel. Sodium will move in, and as a result, you will be able to hear the smell. And if you're not able to do this and then it's small, then it is going to be removed and you will be no longer to hear that smell. So that was the mechanism of action of that of your odorant or your smell. That was of your taste, and you just only have to know about the odors of the taste. And that's all for the remaining topics of the special senses. If you still have any question, let me know, and if you want any more topics, let me know and I'll make them for you. Thank you.